You're listening to Accounting for Growth, the podcast where growth leaders in accounting go beyond referrals alone and think bigger. I'm Chad Person, your host and the founder and president of Accounting CMO. Each episode, we bring in experts at the edge of accounting innovation to share quick, actionable insights that help you lead with confidence, drive smart growth, and move your firm forward. Let's dive in. Well, welcome back to the Accounting for Growth podcast. Today, we're diving into a new report from Thomson Reuters called Future of Professionals 2025. It's a report that I found just packed with insights on where the profession is heading, especially when it comes to AI and its impact on firm growth. With that, you'll know why in just a moment. I've invited our next guest. I'm excited to kind of introduce Ben Victorica, a VP of Sales for KnowledgeNet.ai. Ben, welcome. It's good to see you. And for listeners who may not know you or your firm, give them a perspective on what you and your firm does.
Thank you, Chad. Yeah, so I've been working with our founders for 15 years, and we've been helping professional service organizations and healthcare organizations leverage AI throughout those 15 years. This has all been part of Microsoft's healthcare division, Nuance, where we started with machine learning, business process optimization, optical character recognition was driving that, natural language understanding, etc. Nuance developed 5,000 patents during this time.
Crazy.
And 5 years ago, we sold our business to Nuance, and we developed and launched KnowledgeNet to broaden our reach, help companies, professional service organizations leverage AI, focused mostly on helping them improve efficiencies and helping them with business development and account management.
Awesome. Yeah. So obviously a lot of background, right, in this tech space. AI is a primary focus for you and KnowledgeNet now. I was super excited to review the Thomson Reuters report, and as soon as I got my eyes on it, I was like, "Gosh, I've got to get Ben on this podcast to talk about it." Right? We both had the opportunity to look at it now. As you know, it and for the readers who haven't again read it, really highlights how AI is, not just this shiny tool. I know it's the most popular thing going right now, but it truly can be. And for some firms, even today, appears to be a transformational driver. And so let's get into it. I'd like to start by, before we jump into the deep questions, for you, Ben, let's start with a few points that stood out to me in the report. First one is AI is freeing up 240 hours per professional annually. That's currently, right? And that's nearly 19,000 in value per each professional each year. Crazy. Firms with a visible AI strategy are twice as likely to see revenue growth compared to those taking kind of this ad hoc, more reactive approach. 53% of firms surveyed from this report reported ROI from AI investments today. Currently, right? Mainly through efficiency, productivity, and improved client experience. This one, the last two here, I want to turn it over to some questions for you, Ben. Despite this 30%, despite what we just talked about, 30% of professionals believe their firms are moving too slowly on AI, risking being at a competitive disadvantage. And then finally, 46% of professionals report skills gaps within their firm, within their teams, particularly in technology and just overall data knowledge. So again, and some interesting numbers there. I'd love to get your perspective on these findings and what they mean particularly for CPA firms trying to grow in today's market. Let me start with this question, and it's really kind of around the idea of leveraging AI and technology for growth and efficiency. The stat about 240 hours per professional annually. How critical do you think it is? Operational efficiency. How critical do you think operational efficiency is for firms for a firm's ability to grow without like adding headcount, as an example?
Well, that number of 240 hours per person definitely drops revenue to the bottom line and helps them maintain, healthier profit margins that they can use to invest in talent and technology without adding additional headcount. They can redeploy talent. The capacity relief provided by AI allows the senior staff and partners to focus on higher value activities. They can unlock new business, automating that long tail of follow-ups, client preparation, but really leveraging agentic systems. Some of the things that KnowledgeNet does, for example, definitely attributes directly to revenue growth without adding headcount. And it's going to make it a better place to work. So it'll improve the work-life balance for professionals, better ability to attract and retain talent.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, I feel like this may be one of the key plays for CPA firms. I mean, again, we all understand that the profession's been under this capacity constraint. It seems like for forever, and obviously freeing up our professionals up from these manual, repetitive processes, et cetera, not only has a big impact on efficiency, but as you said, so right, Ben, is a big positive impact on just how well you really value what you do, right? Your engagement each day to kind of get away from that. So interesting. So let's move to the next one here, more around AI as a strategic advantage. The report again shows that firms with a clear strategy around AI are twice as likely to achieve revenue growth. From your perspective, what does a good AI strategy actually look like for CPA firms?
So there's a lot of detail here in my answer. From a high level, the strategy needs to be led by, have leader engagement. So leaders should lead by example when introducing this kind of change. They need to have active investments in AI powered technology. That's critical. Probably that and change management are the two biggest things. But as they work through their strategy, they're going to have to adjust some things, like operationally adjust service offerings, potentially offer AI powered services. They need to implement workflow automation and things that help leverage AI that's very strong in reducing these duplicative tasks that people have to do. And then at the very beginning, you talked about like the skills gap.
Yep.
So they need to empower individuals, help them have a strong foundation, encourage them to use AI and give them, ownership of it. Part of it is implementing some things, getting started with something that has a measurable outcome. And they need to be thinking about strategically that it's, a governance first type thinking. The AI CPA is the auditing arm for software companies for SOC 2 Type 2. Firms need to be aware of what does that mean, especially since it's their profession that's doing the auditing, and help customers understand that the sensitive work and transparency with clients and confidentiality, all those things are things that they are leveraging as part of this, and then start the process with something, and pair the AI projects with business owners and measure the success.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, obviously, starting with alignment of leadership, clear understanding of what value can look like for the firm. But back to that individual, um, it's interesting today. There clearly are skills gaps inside of firms noted by this report. But I also think there's a lot of fear in some cases where people are fearful of what AI can do to maybe their current role and their future as as a CPA, et cetera. So I think there is this idea of some people simply resisting it. I mean, from your perspective, again, what can leaders kind of do to ensure that their staff is open to AI as something that can create a positive impact in their careers and their lives as opposed to a negative?
Well, individuals are starting to use AI on their own. There needs to be, from the leadership perspective, addressing this maybe disconnect between what they're doing and what the organization's goals are. So if they're not leading by example, without strategic alignment, then people will be more fearful to use it in the workplace, and the AI adoption risks get driven that way. So by being a supportive environment, adding different workflows, adding AI to improve their efficiency, leading by example. And then for those people that have fear, pairing them with business owners and other colleagues that have an understanding of how this works so they can see the, clear and measurable success.
Makes sense. Again, so you'd mentioned a moment ago, switching topics now to kind of maybe more what I've seen you and KnowledgeNet have such a big impact on for CPA firms. I've had the fortune to work with you on a few of these, but talk to me about, for those firms who are kind of struggling with top of the funnel growth. I know AI can have a big impact on driving more efficient outreach and identifying prospects, et cetera. Talk to me or talk to our listeners about some of the things that KnowledgeNet is doing to help generate that growth through AI.
There's two areas that we're leveraging for customers that really scale and provide 10x, 5x, 10x results on the effort for them generating revenue. One is targeting which are the ideal clients to be going after and why now. Why is now a good time to reach out to them? So we use agentic tools to help them prioritize those customers, doing deep research on each customer, how it meets their ideal customer profile, and more importantly, like what business triggers have happened with those customers in the last 30 days that makes reaching out to them now a good time to reach out to them. And then when we do that reach out, we provide a scalable, personalized outreach that can run personalized campaigns. Many times the partners are the ones that are in charge of business development, and we can help them have 10x the approach of reaching out to people without having to hire BDRs and SDRs to do business development, giving small firms, a 5-employee firm, a 20-employee firm, the access of doing outreach digitally that BDRs would have to be hired to do that, but in the past haven't been afforded at a smaller size firm.
Yeah, and in that way, it as you're suggesting, just amazing how AI is kind of leveling the playing field, if you will, for smaller firms to be able to compete with the volume or velocity of outreach that, again, as you suggested, have been kind of reserved in the past for firms that are twice or many times their size. So when you're one more question as a follow-up to that. I mean, you'd mentioned the ability to kind of 5x, if you will. So this is really an opportunity for, again, for those firms who, as we all know, their partners are often the ones that are initiating, nurturing, and really converting prospects into new clients. Those individuals already have a book of business. They're serving clients while they're trying to maintain some level of outreach to generate new business. Using this AI is in so many ways so valuable to those individuals. Can you just clarify that a bit more for our listeners?
Yeah, the main thing is really have them focus on the higher value activities. Our system can help them by prioritizing the right customers to go out out to, doing the outreach, developing that, marketing qualified lead where the customer has reacted, said that they're interested in a meeting, and doing that, passing that to the partner to be able to take it from there and build the relationships and work to close business. It's part of those 240 hours that are being freed up so the partner can do things at a higher level versus the repetitive, outreach tasks that they may have to do manually that can be replaced with AI.
Do that at scale it like we've never seen before, and the beauty as well to that is to do it in a customized way, to do it in a way that really does take into account the unique nature of that prospect and their business, et cetera. So it's not just about volume, it's also about maintaining a high level of quality as well, which is what I love.
Absolutely.
Hey, final note here as we close in. If we've got a managing partner or key industry leader inside of a firm, owner, et cetera, listening today, and they want to take that first practical step towards better positioning their firm with AI, what would you recommend they do?
Start with a single measurable thing that is part of their business. That way it demonstrates a quick ROI, and that strategy allows them to be able to reduce any skepticism related to any actions or what their team is concerned about. So there could be things like taking advantage of enhancing their top of funnel growth. It could be working with you, for example, with using AI to help with content, generating content, drafting social posts and blogs and SEO type optimizing of their web copy. And additionally, smaller things. It could be that they embrace things like digital note takers for every meeting, and then feed that information back into the AI agent that can help them automate their discovery calls into a draft document without them having to take copious notes during the meeting.
Yeah, makes sense. So again, it's so important. I find so many businesses today are coming and saying, how can I use AI in my business? You need to kind of reverse that and say, let's find an area in my business that I know needs improvement, right? a problem or a pain that I can solve, and then evaluate how AI can enhance it. So keep it simple. I like that, Ben. Thank you. So hey, if you're interested in reading the full Future Professionals 2025 report from Thomson Reuters, obviously you could search for it via AI or Google, or you could also just reach out to me. I'll send you a copy. Ben, I want to thank you so much for sharing your insights. For listeners who want to connect with you or learn more about your work, what's the best way to reach out to you?
They can reach out to me via LinkedIn, or if you send them a report, you can provide them my contact information, ben.victorica@knowledgenet.ai.
Perfect. Thanks again, Ben. Big thanks to our listeners for joining us, and we will see you on the next Accounting for Growth podcast.
Thank you very much.
That's a wrap on this episode of Accounting for Growth, powered by your CMO. We help accounting leaders break the status quo. Please subscribe, share, and stay sharp. Your next big growth move starts now.